My name is Phoebe Waller-Bridge. If people are laughing, they're kind of giving you their heart a bit, so they're sort of asking you to break it in some way, I think.
Translating it from a play to the TV script was actually really hard. Well, it was a one-woman show, and so it was all about just my relationship with the audience, and it was her life over 3 days, and it was about it was more about her control of telling the story, so everything the audience knew about the world that she was describing was seen completely through her prism. This, like, I felt when I was in my mid to late 20s when I first wrote the play, and it came out of a need to play someone who was complex and weird and had these multiple layers and had a persona, and then had somebody truthful underneath and had all that complexity, but it was funny and dark and sort of sexually candid. All of those things were things I desperately wanted to play as an actor anyway. The thing that we were experimenting with most was how it's basically putting essentially an unattractive, not particularly nice character on the stage and see if you can still bring people in to her story.
Get people to care about her and to understand her, because she seems so arrogant at the beginning. Doesn't seem to care about anything. It's very cold and distanced by the some tragic things that have happened in her life.
And then by the end, the character was trying to push the audience away, and so I wanted the audience to feel complicit, and that was a strange story, a strange experience for them. You learn so much about character from writing, and I know a lot of actors that will write themselves letters from their characters and things like that before they actually perform. And I've never been that kind of actor, but I think it's because I want to write as well. But I can see that thing. Once you're actually writing things down and writing dialogue down, you learn so much more than even in real life. If you write yourself, if you just dare yourself to write something truthful that you think, and it feels kind of dangerous because it's like writing a diary that you know no one's going to look in, and that's kind of what it felt like with Fleabag.
Little giggle. So when I was writing Fleabag and Crashing, I was like, I just want to write fucking drama. Hate this, having to do a tick thing on the page of there's 6 jokes on this page, and it having to be about generating material and jokes was exhausting. But now I'm writing a drama, I'm like, I just want to put a joke in everything. It's like how do I know if it works, or where's the humanity? I think finding the humanity in drama for me has been an interesting journey, because I think people being funny or jokes reveal so much so quickly about a character. But people staring meaningfully down a corridor and then walking with absolutely no sense of humour to go and sign a form, I'm like what's fun about that? I was trying to straddle the 2 genres at once, so I wanted it to present as a comedy and then twist into a drama. Maybe happiness isn't in what you believe, but who you believe. I think the mind-bending thing about Crashing was that it's 7 different stories in 23 minutes, which was a few too many characters, and so but the discipline of having to crack that was much. It was just more. It felt more of an equation doing that, and then making sure that there were jokes landing at the right time in every page, and the characters were having their own little mini arcs. Characters for me is like how I do that. So I write women who don't give a shit because I'm teaching myself how to be one, and. Yeah, I feel such a catharsis when I do turn to the camera and just say that fucking line, and then it's just such an amazing feeling. I'd like to be a bit more like that. I think if you have enough that you can write them on post-its and write them on your wall and just put them together, because I think I've never thought structure first. I've always thought material first, and I think you're the same, aren't you, Vix? And it's how we operate so much. Material first, jokes first, character first, and then we just put them all on the wall. And then, honestly, just the game of what if you put this next to this? And usually the more unusual that pairing is of those scenes, or those scenes that you put in an episode, the more interesting it comes, or that something happens when you put 2 things that shouldn't be together. And then you start pulling a story out of that. This is probably really bad advice, because I know you're supposed to structure first, and then you send it to your commissioners and go, this is the structure of the episode, and just send a screwed up post-it note going, that's out. But that really helped, was just knowing that as long as you're enjoying writing those scenes, then once you've got enough, then start playing with it. I think the hook thing at the end that was really helpful. I growled about that at the beginning. And then you should just go as far away from the end emotionally as you possibly can. That's my instinct anyway. And I think knowing how and when we were doing our dry write stuff, theatre stuff early on, a lot of our experiments were how do you want to make the audience feel? What is the emotional journey you want them to go on? And that really helps me, rather than thinking starting off thinking this would work A story, B story, C story.
It's at this point, if you found a moment, a scene that you know works and is going to make them feel that you need to hit them with it as a surprise. So then work away from that. It's very instinctual.
I'd hear a piece of music and go, oh God, that's inspired me for a scene in episode 4, which is the scene with the guy on the log. Like I wrote that, and then while I was in the middle of writing episode 3, and it was much more jumbled around, and the fact that it's from one character's perspective and you never leave her was a very different approach to it as well.
So you've written a story of a woman who's learned how to love herself, and I was like, no, I haven't. He was like, you have, and actually, I think that's the truth. And I hate like cheesy stuff like that so much, but actually, it's there for a reason.
Just keep your wits about you and be professional.
Write as if you're not afraid, and the same goes for acting. Act like you're not afraid.
This is a love story.